Hello friends, welcome to the first video of my series Accounting and Financial Aspects for Non-Finance Managers. Today we will be discussing about the first part, that is accounting concepts and various accounting principles. So let us go through the all the parts of the accounting concepts. So part 1 we are going to cover the accounting concepts, where we will be covering the basic accounting conventions, basic accounting principles, books of account to be maintained, journal entries, golden rules of accounting, trial balance, preparing trading, P&L account, and balance sheet. This reconciliation part we will do later. So this is the first part of our series where we will be taking the very basic concept of the accounting. So let us look at the basic accounting conventions. Now in this conventions we have four parts. One, the consistencies. Second, conservatism. Third, materiality. And fourth is the full disclosure. Now in any accounting, we will be having certain conventions. So the first convention says that there has to be a conservatism, or we can take the first part as a consistency. So consistency convention says that once the company has decided to follow a method of accounting, then it shall consistently follow the same method. So let us take an example that company is following the mercantile basis. We'll see what is this of accounting. So they should maintain properly the accounting based on the mercantile basis only. And if they want to change, then they have to disclose. If suppose, let us take an example, they want to change from mercantile to a cash basis, then they have to disclose in an accounting saying that they are going to change. So this is what about the consistency. Second part is the conservatism. Now in accountancy, this convention says that at the time of recording any financial transactions, one should recognize no profit but provide for all possible losses. So you should see that if there are expected sales, then you cannot enter into account. You can enter into account only when you sell. But there are certain expected expenses, and if they are going to happen in the next financial years, but you are sure that it is going to happen, then you should account for it. So that is called as a conservatism. This is the most important convention as it depends upon the theory that the future is uncertain. For instance, the value of inventory is recorded at the cost or market price, whichever is less. In similar way, the provision for doubtful debt is also created, right? So here it says that the inventory, whenever you record the inventory, means I mean to say a stock, then you account it as a cost basis. And whenever you know that the certain amount of the sales is not going to come, then you will provide as a bad debts. Bad debts means money is not going to come. Third is the materiality. In this concept, it states that you have to disclose in your financial statements if certain material instances or the events is happened or is going to happen. Say for example, there is a fire in a company. If there is a fire in a company and the stock say worth of rupees 10 lakhs is lost, if this amount is material with reference to your turnover or your stock, then you have to disclose. But say for example, you have lost only 10,000 rupees ka stock, then it is not material with reference to your stock and the sales. So you don't have to report. So that is what there any material thing which happened in the any financial year, you need to disclose in the books of account. Then the last is the full disclosure. This full disclosure is nothing but you have to disclose. You have to disclose certain thing in your books of account, and it what it helps. It helps the investor actually. The investor to understand the financial statements or for the proper interpretation of the financial statements. As per this convention, at the time of preparing records, full disclosure of the financial information shall be made by the accountant. It can be made in two ways. One, either in the body of the financial statements, or second, by way of the notes to accounts. The basic purpose is this will help the investors to understand the financial statements. However, in case if there are any financial events that occur between the balance sheet preparation date and its publication, then in such cases, the relevant information about such event shall also be disclosed. As I said about the, say for example, fire takes place or there is some income tax demand or some excise or GST demand, then you should disclose in the books of account. So this is what about the basic accounting conventions. Now, let us look at the basic accounting principles. The principles are accrual basis of accounting, cash basis of accounting, matching principle, and going concern. We'll look at one by one. So first, in accrual base of accounting, it says that expected expenses to account and revenue to account even though amount is not received. So in accrual base of accounting, we account for sales, we account for purchase, even though we have not paid or even though we have not received. In accrual base of accounting, we book the expenses even though we have not paid. Another example is we book the interest even though we have not received. So here we keep in mind that whatever we account is based on the accrual basis. So if the expense is accrued, we will account. If the income is accrued, we will account. In the cash basis accounting, it is on a paid or a receipt basis. So if you have paid, you account. If you have received, you will account. Matching principles. Here it states that expenses and income for the relevant period should be accounted. For example, if you make a payment of insurance for a period of 10th October 2020 to 9th October 2021, you will account for, if assuming that I'm writing the books of account as of 31st March 2021, you will account for 10th October 2020 till 31st March 2021. Rest period, that is 1/4/2021 to 9th October 2021, will go to the prepaid expenses. Means it is not relevant to that particular period. Similarly, for income, if any income, say for example, we have received AMC for a period of the same period, then you will account for 10th October to 31st of March in income, and rest you will put into the income receivable. Then the going concern. This is very important part of the principle. This states that the going concern concept is that you are writing books of account based on the going concern concept. That is, the going concern concept means you are treating that the business will go on and there will not be any stoppage of the business. So whatever, we are not assuming that there will be a discontinuation of the business. So we are seeing that we will be doing the accounting based on the going concern concept. Now there are certain books of account to be maintained. One is the sales register, second is the purchase register. Here we account for the sales, here we will account for the procurement, maybe of raw material or packing material or consumables or labor or expenses. Then inventory register, here there is a inward and outward of inventory or stock will be there. Then cash and bank account, then journal register. Here we will maintain the JV entries, which we will see in the next slide. Debit and credit note register for any adjustments or rate difference, etc. Then we have the books of account. Here these all are the registers. These are the books of account. We have general ledger, where we maintain the record of assets, liability, expenses, and revenue. Then we have a debtors and creditors ledger, where we will maintain the account of debtors, where we will have the one side sales and another side is collection. Then we have creditors. There one side we will have the purchase and another side we will have the payments. There are, friends, three golden rules of accounting: real account, personal account, and nominal account. So what is the easiest one? Is the personal account. The personal account means where there is a giver and the receiver. The nominal account means there are expense and the income, and the real account means the entries like what comes in and what goes out. So the entries to be passed for real account is, this is very crucial from the accounting point of view to understand the accounts, how the accounts are maintained. Debit, what comes in. So the whenever you will pass entry, you will see that if it's a real account, debit what comes in and credit what goes out. Personal account, debit the receiver and credit the giver. And third account, debit all expenses and credit was all income. Let us take one example. Personal account, debit the receiver. So if I am receiving some money from the if I am receiving some money from the customer, then the accounting entry will be in that manner. When I'm making some expenses, say for example, I'm making some expenses, say printing and stationery. So I'll debit printing and stationery debit to bank account. So here debit the expenses. So this is what we have applied here, and credit was goes out. That is the was goes out. Say for example, we receive the collection, so we do the bank account debit because money comes in, and we credit the what customer account. So debit what comes in, right? This is what we account here. Now trial balance. Once we do all the entries, we prepare the trial balance. Basically the format will be like this. This is debit, this is credit, this is particulars. Here trial balance, we will write all kinds of the heads of the expenses or income or the general ledger or the debtors and creditors, and we see that the total should tally. So trial balance is a bookkeeping worksheet in which the balance of all ledgers are compiled into debit and credit account column. General purpose of producing the trial balance is to ensure the entries in a company's bookkeeping system are mathematically correct. So our accounting is based on the double accounting principle. So you have every time, if you 100, then it is also 100. If it is 1000 debit, then you will do 1000 credit. So every time you do debit, you do credit also. So your, suppose here you have 100, so here you have printing stationery 100, then you have bank account. Another example of debtor amount received, then debtors, say say it is an advance of 1000, here 1000, and then we will be having the bank account. Suppose this is a current account, this is CC account, then here will be 1000. So your answer will be 1100. So this has to tally. We will see in deep in the next time how it matches. So both debit and credit side should produce equal results, as the same is based on the double entry principles. Now we come to trading account. After trial balance, we prepare a trading account. So here it consists of opening stock of material, purchase of material, sales of output, closing stock of material, direct expenses like packing material, labor, consumables, power and fuel, direct expenses, wages, depreciation, plant and machines, etc. And resultant figure is known as the gross profit. We will see how the format is. Format is very simple, like this. You have particulars over here, then your amount, here you will write sales, then closing stock, you write opening stock, then purchases, then GP, etc. We'll see the whole format. Then after here, the gross profit brought down, carried down, say for X amount, this comes here. This is the gross profit carried down, and here from, so this is trading and this is P&L account. So it starts from the resultant figure of the trading account, that is the gross profit and or loss, and it consists of indirect expenses like printing and stationery, bank charges, postage and courier, telephone expenses, sales and business promotion, interest, depreciation, and other business expenses. On a credit side, we have an indirect income like interest on deposit, other income, etc. And resultant figure is either a net profit or a net losses. Now we come to balance sheet. It is a statement denoting in a financial terms and shows assets and liability of the company. We'll see the format in the next slide. It shows shareholder funds. Shareholder is the people who bring money into the company. Loan fund. Loan fund is a fund which we get from the bank or other private institutions or a people, and a working capital, which is the essential terms of the investors for the investors. It shows the net worth of the company and investment in the fixed and the current asset of the company. This all we will see when we will do a financial accounting. It helps investor to relate the application of the fund with the source of the fund. This we will see now in the next slide. This is the format of trading and P&L account. See, this is opening stock. Then whatever we will purchase, either raw material or consumable or packing material, we write here. We have a direct expense like labor or wages. We have a sales, then we have a closing stock, and this is the gross profit. This goes here. And here we add income, other income like FD interest or say dividend or say other income or say scrap income or say another income is incentives from government, etc. And here we will be having a printing stationery, postage, telephone, traveling, conveyance, etc. expenses, then interest, depreciation, and then we have a net profit of the company. Let us look at the balance sheet. Balance sheet is, we will write always as on. So we'll be denoting here the profit balance sheet as on that particular date, and the profit and loss account we write for the period ended, or we can write year ended if it is for the full year. So this is the shareholders funds. The first is the share capital, the capital which brought by the promoters or shareholders. In partnership firm, we have a partner's capital. In proprietary firm, we have a proprietor's capital. Then we have a reserves and surplus. This is nothing but the accumulated profit. Then we have a long-term borrowing, maybe from the bank, other long-term liability, maybe from the other individuals. Then we have a deferred tax liability. This is not important as of now. We will see when we will do financial accounting. Then we have a short-term borrowing from the bank, then payment pending for the suppliers, any other expenses, liability, or a short-term provision maybe for the income tax or other expenses. These are nothing but the amount liable to pay. This is also amount liable to pay, and this is owner's fund. And the whole everything is so known as the source of funds. Then this is the application of fund, where the funds are applied. So this is the fixed assets. Fixed assets further divided into tangible assets and the intangible assets. This is software, etc. Software. Then we have patents. Then we have brands. We have design, etc. Then we have whatever in the progress. Then non-current investment. Maybe you have invested into certain stocks or the mutual fund or certain companies. Then long-term loans and advances, you have given some loans and advances to any of the companies, that is covered here. Then we have a current assets, which includes inventory, stock as of 31st March, then trade receivable, cash and bank balances, and the short-term advances. One thing I would like to tell you friends, that any financial statements, the fiscal year or the accounting year, you can say, is accounting year is 1st April to 31st March. And there is another concept is assessment year and previous year. Previous year is nothing but the financial year. So in this example, say for example, we are adding books of 2021. Then our financial year is 1/4/2020 to 31st March 2021, and the assessment year is 2021 to 2022. Assessment year starts at from the end of the previous year till the next year, and it is denoted in this form. And previous year or the financial is denoted in this particular form. Suppose some company is started in between the year, then we will write for the previous year for the period ended. If the company is worked for the full year, then we will write for the year ended. All right. This is what friends, as of now, this is for the first lecture on the series of accounting and financial aspects for non-finance managers. Thank you friends. Next week we will come up with the next week we'll be come up with the part 2, which will be divided into 2 parts, that is financial accounting. And this financial accounting will be divided into 2 parts of the videos, because this is quite a long, where we will see the working capital management, inventory management, how to read financials, how to interpret financials, and so on. Thank you very much friends.